I think it's really important for there to be retro gaming stores because it's like a big part of my generation's like childhood.
I mean, you're gonna get more money off eBay, but I'll work out a fair good deal for you. That way you don't have to bother with it. The problem with the eBay is you have to wait for it to sell, then you have to worry about shipping it out, paying your fees for PayPal and eBay. So it can be a lot. My name's Austin. I'm the store manager here at Tallahassee Movies and Games. Well, the retro market's huge right now, especially the N64 market and the Nintendo market, actually. People to be able to buy back their childhoods that some have had to sell off due to losing money or whatever the case may be, tough times. It's really important for them to have that place where they can come and be able to buy those games, especially at a good price. Because a lot of them are trying to price gouge these days, and it really makes it hard to buy back your childhood. I think it's really important for the youth to be playing old games like Mario and Galaga and things to that effect. That way they can actually see where video games started. To me, they'll always be my favorite games. The Super Nintendo console is my favorite. Right now I'm playing Earthbound. Obviously, it's a huge RPG. Didn't do very well in America, but is very well wanted now. Final Fantasy, Zelda, one of my personal favorite games. They need to be able to play those to understand where video games came from. The first station I remember owning is a Nintendo, and the first game I ever played was Mario 3. I loved it, still love it today, and still own it. It seems it's kind of like they're just throwing games together at this point. Obviously, you have your good games like Grand Theft Auto 5, your big releases. But it seems like the only games that are good right now are sequels. Can't really find a good original game anymore. And it's kind of reminding me of the video game crash in 1983, where they just kept releasing bad games after bad games after bad games. And they just stopped making them until 1985 when the Nintendo came out. Well, our expansion, we actually want to open up another store here soon in Panama City. So that is the future plans. But we do plan on slowly progressing and getting more stores. This store, we're obviously opening the arcade here soon. Got a couple machines up and running now. So we're really trying to build a gamer atmosphere, really bring the gaming community together to one place where they can come, hang out, have fun, play some games, play in tournaments, things to that effect. The location of the store hopefully will change within the next 3 years. We got to finish out our lease here, and then we want to bring in a more central location somewhere downtown.
Hi, I'm Nicole Neal, casual gamer. I think it's important because the newer games tend to be a lot more realistic, and I think that there are some issues with certain types of games that cause the younger generation to not be able to differentiate between real life and the newer games. Whereas in the older games, like Super Mario or Frogger, they're more cartoonish and they're just fun, and it's really easy to know that they're a game versus real things happening. I prefer older games because I don't like to play first-person games, and a lot of the newer games are first-person, whereas in the older ones, you get to see your character, you get to see what they're doing, and it's kind of more fun that way.
I'm Andrew Mancuso, casual gamer. It's really hard to find old games, especially ones like when you were a kid, your parents wouldn't buy you, or your parents were like, oh no, that's too expensive. And now you can go out and find them, and it's like $5 for a game, and you get just as much fun playing it now as you did when you were a kid. I think that games have changed more into like violence. There's a lot more shooting games. Those are really big, like first-person shooters, even third-person shooters are really big. I feel like we've kind of lost the platforming game era. Nintendo tries to keep it alive. They do a lot with, they still do Mario games and stuff, and while that's great, I appreciate keeping that genre alive. I do wish that we would see some more new characters for platforming games. I don't have anything against Mario. He's just kind of done it all. If I opened my own gaming store, I think my focus would be more towards... I would try and aim more towards like the newer generations of gamers. Like if I had an Xbox One and a PS4 section and I saw younger kids coming in and only looking over there, you know, I would be like, oh, have you guys ever heard of a Super Nintendo or a Nintendo Entertainment System? You know, this is where it all started, and I want to try and get kids back into playing retro games. They're kind of already coming back a little bit, but really it's more like my generation and even the generation before mine, you know, going back and buying games from their childhood. But I really want kids now to have a chance to have the same games that I had when I was a kid and have those same experiences, like beating The Legend of Zelda for the first time, or, you know, facing off against Bowser in Super Mario. Stuff like that doesn't happen anymore. You know, it's always good to get back to basics and play the original games. I feel like a lot of my skills, if you will, playing video games now came from, you know, having to play almost impossible video games when I was a little kid. Now games are really easy.
If I had to have dinner with anybody, probably be Ness from Earthbound. Ness is that one guy that wakes up in the middle of the night to an alien invasion, and then he goes on this great quest because something's telling him to. I really would like to know what his mind frame was when this kid is just waking out of bed to go save the world because something is telling him, hey, you're meant for great things. So
Miss Pac-Man, because she eats a lot of fruits. Okay, now, let me think about it for a second.
I think I would want to have dinner with Kirby, just because I've always wondered if he, you know, whenever he like sucks people up, he turns into them or takes one of their powers. I always wanted to know if he, you know, sucked up like a Thanksgiving turkey, would he turn into a turkey?
And the Little Mermaid view. Ask her why her game is so hard.